Welcome back to Real Comic Book Talk. We're here with Sebastian Jones, writer of Niobe and Vampire Hunter D. Two just great independent comics, but I'm not going to sell you because that's his job. He's one of the greats.
What? Oh, one of the greats.
One of the greats.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I didn't write Vampire Hunter D, but I published it. Brandon Easton, epic writer from Agent Carter. He's an amazing writer. He wrote Vampire Hunter D for us. I wrote Niobe, thank goodness, with the actress that played Rue in the Hunger Games. And Niobe became, quick plug, the first ever nationally distributed comic book with a black female author, artist, and hero in the history of comics, when I had the pleasure of writing with Amandla Stenberg, who you know as Rue in the Hunger Games. And the artist is Ashley A. Woods out of Southside Chicago.
Wow.
Pretty, right? Aww. And her character's first introduced in The Untamed, A Sinner's Prayer. For anyone that listens to blues music like me, so there was a Ray Charles tune called A Sinner's Prayer. So each one of my Untamed books I name after a classic blues tune. Kind of like how Gangstar is the song for each Cage episode.
Right.
I'm old school blues head as well as a hip hop head, so this is The Untamed, A Sinner's Prayer. Go on YouTube, type in Sinner's Prayer, Ray Charles. Anyway, but this is all set in a fantasy world I spent 30 years creating. Art by Peter Bergting, who does Lord of the Rings, the Harry Potter covers, and Baltimore with Mike Mignola, and Daryl May, who does all of our layouts and concept art. That is The Untamed.
So, can you give some character information or history on Niobe? Because if I can remember last year, if you're telling me, I want to make sure I remember it right.
Yes, sir.
That she's a princess. She's like the Princess Leia of your universe.
Yeah. She's definitely the Princess Leia, the Luke Skywalker. She's the iconic face of my whole franchise. So 30 years ago I spent, creating this fantasy world. That's when I started imagining this concept of Niobe to kind of like take on our own hopes and fears, responsibilities, and romanticize about this character becoming someone that could bind nations. And so she's first introduced in The Untamed. She's half elven, half black, half white, half angel, half demon. And there's a lot of stuff for you to discover and learn about her. And when we first see her, it's in The Untamed, but then she has her own tale, Niobe She Is Life. And then we go to Niobe She Is Death. And then we'll have Niobe She Is Spirit, and finish with Niobe She Is God in the She Is comic series. She's wild elven, Galam Wren, nomadic elven girl.
You sound like a badass.
She is, yeah.
Flat out
exactly. Faith to fighting, marrying them both, and she becomes like that Joan of Arc, Cleopatra, kind of like a Messiah type figure in our world.
So what future plans do you have for Niobe and the rest of the universe?
Well, fingers crossed, obviously this stuff grows and expands into other media, TV, film, whatever, but within the comic realm we have Erathun, which is where Niobe's much older. Just lots of other stories, Morkamoa, where you see Niobe as an infant. Just more and more titles that we grow and experience her life and her journey.
That sounds like somebody's about to spend a lot of money buying books.
I hope so.
I did.
Yeah.
I did already.
Thank you.
Any good book out there, I will go get it.
Thank you, brother.
That's how I am. I always say, and this is the thing, some of the best writing is in independent books, where you just don't have it from the big two, because you can only do so much because they don't want to find any trouble. But you go here where you got room to expand and take some chances. That's beautiful. So speaking of taking chances, what are you doing differently in your book that separates you from like DC or Marvel writers or any other independent writers?
I think a lot of it is when you have the big guys, a lot of times you're under such heavy deadlines to try and hit the monthly sales. Yeah. So for us, we do our best, and it's not easy all the time, but just to take our time when the story's ready, then it's ready to fly. They get some great writers and great folks. I think for us, what we try and do though is incorporate folks of all representation in an authentic way.
Well, I want to again thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Great book.
Thank you.
And
thank you.
you guys make sure anytime you see Sebastian at any con, go right up to his booth. It's always a big booth. He's always got a great spread.
Thank you.
And then ask him he'll answer any questions you have. And
if you
buy the book.
If you like walk in a 20-foot radius, chances are you don't have a choice. We'll come to the booth. I'll be yelling out for you. And we'll be seeing you at New York Comic Con, Comikaze, Stanley's LA Comic Con, Rose City. And if you want to find us, strangercomics.com or at Stranger Comics on all social media.
All right. Well, there you guys have it. Till next time. Peace.
Wanted to get anything here now.
Repeat, the show floor will be closing in 15 minutes. Thank you.